I wanted to write some words you'd remember. Words so alert they'd leap from the paper, crawl up your shoulder, lie by your ears, and purr themselves to you like baby kittens. But it was rainy, so I laid there and daydreamed about you. I've written words you have not read, that speak of you, my love. In them, I do express for you a love as deep as ocean's blue and wide as space above. So cherish all the words I'll leave if I have gone to sleep, for they will be my hands on you, caresses from the man you knew, forever yours to keep. These trees are yours because you once looked at them. These streets are yours because you once traversed them. Nothing belongs to itself anymore. These coffee shops, these bookshops, these cafes and bars, their sole owner is you. You sang with the birds, and they stopped to listen to you. They gave themselves so willingly, out of jealousy of your voice. The stars took one glance at your beauty and folded themselves from shame. The trees now only whisper your name, and the sky hasn't stopped crying since you looked up. Have pity on us, my love. The sun and moon, the seas and mountains, they have all left from heartbreak. Nothing belongs to itself anymore. As you once spoke to him, and even God became yours. He sits with us in darkness now, to plot how to make you ours. There's something beautiful about waiting for someone. There's something romantic about it. You get to keep them in the space in your head where they're perfect. They can't really do anything wrong because they don't have to. Days may pass into months, and months may pass into years, but there isn't enough time in the world to stop me from waiting for you. But loving you was never a mistake. Despite all my downs, I don't have the heart to see you with someone else, so I want to become better for you. Why, you ask? Because you're the only person I want to keep in my life. I would fight every angel between us until God says yes. In ancient China, people believed in the legend of the red string, that the gods tied a red string around our finger and attached it to all the people whose lives we are destined to touch. When two souls are destined to be together, they are connected by an invisible thread, no matter the time, place, or situation. This thread may stretch or tangle, but it will never break. The sun and the moon yearn for each other, but time keeps them apart. So God painted the skies with eclipses, proving that even the most improbable love can unite. If a man ever loses his loved one, he will search for her in everyone he meets. You are the face of who you loved most in your past life. When our eyes meet, the whole world falls silent and time stands still. Nothing else exists apart from you and me. If you would take one step forward, darling, you could cry in my arms. And while you do, I'll tell you how sorry I am for everything I've done. And when I'm finished, you can help me find a way to forgive myself. I should warn you that this letter will not be eloquent. However, it will be sincere, especially in light of the fact that you will never read it. I have felt these words like a weight in my chest, until I find myself amazed that a heart can go on beating under such a burden. I love you. I love you desperately, violently, tenderly, completely. I want you in ways that I know you would find shocking. My love, you don't belong with a man like me. In the past, I've done things you wouldn't approve of, and I've done them 10 times over. I have led a life of immoderate sin. As it turns out, I'm just as immoderate in love. Worse, in fact. I want to talk with you forever. I remember every word you've ever said to me. If only I could visit you as a foreigner goes into a new country, learn the language of you, wander past all borders into every private and secret place. I would stay forever. I would become a citizen of you. You would say it's too soon to feel this way. You would ask how I could be so certain. but some things can't be measured by time. Ask me an hour from now. Ask me a month from now. A year, 10 years, or even a lifetime. The way I love you will outlast every calendar, clock, and every toll of every bell that will ever be cast. So please, just fight for the things that crack light into your life. Fight for the things that soften you. Protect the people you love. Leave them better than you found them. Defend your heart. Do whatever it takes to keep it open, despite what it has been through. Forgive not just others, but yourself as well. Slow down, taste and touch, and feel and care. Create the things you want to see in this world. Stay as curious as possible. Honor your joy. Do not shy away from the good that is trying to reach you. Do not convince yourself that you are unworthy of it. Be strong enough to be gentle. Be brave enough to break. Be all that you are. And when your time does come, when the stars take back what they lent to you, when the dance ends, I hope you leave this world with the heart that is worn out and tender all over. I got addicted to you so easily, attracted to you in ways that are hard to explain. Every day, you're in my head. When night falls and the world quiets, my mind doesn't. It's filled with thoughts of you. You're the last whisper in my consciousness before sleep claims me. And my first thought when I wake, this is how every day goes. I care about you more than you realize, and I appreciate you more than you think. Please tell me every time our eyes meet, you feel what I feel. And tell me that I'm not the only one wide awake right now, stuck in a chance of wishing you were here. I want only your attention, and with that, I'll find my peace. Love, at least according to my idea of it, is self-sacrifice, a surrender of one's own self. And in that lies perhaps the greatest happiness on earth. The man who has given himself wholly in love has learned the truth of life. And there is nothing to regret in that, because that happiness cannot be taken from him. And even death itself can only give him back the fulfillment of his love in eternal peace. Do not leave me. Hide in my heart like a secret. Wind around my head like a turban. You can tease me as much as you like, but never leave me. For without you, I swear, the world has become like a prison to me. To live without you is death to me, my love. I have for the first time found what I can truly love. I have found you. You are my sympathy, my better self, my good angel. I am bound to you with a strong attachment. You have bewitched me, body and soul. I never wish to be parted from you from this day on. When you are here, I am more like you than I am to myself. But when you are gone, I am reduced to an ordinary being. I have waited for this opportunity for more than half a century, to repeat to you once again my vow of eternal fidelity and everlasting love, because my love for you is beyond love. The years of our lives have changed us both, but it has done nothing to change my loyalty. And the longing that burns in me, as if I was still a man of youth. Perhaps that is what true love is, my darling. It never grows old. It never ages. It does not die, because it always begins anew each time I see you. In our time together, you claimed a part of me that I will never be able to give to anyone else. You knew me in a way that no one else ever has, opened me up and showed me what my heart could be. For to be in love is to be in some way a little mad. I can no longer find my way to you. When you are here, I am more like you than I am to myself. But when you are gone, I am reduced to an ordinary being. I float away into the emptiness that surrounds me, a space so vast and so still that I can hardly breathe. Yet the memory of you burns within me, fierce and consuming. With calloused hands, I tasted the softness of the moon. In the coldest winds, I discovered my soul's warmest fireplace. in the softness of her embrace, the tenderest love. Cold without your warm embraces, life now just does not feel right, missing the most beautiful of faces. I miss it all. Love just isn't love without you. Without you here, my heart cut in half. I've written words you have not read that speak of you, my love. But if I were to fall asleep before what will be new, I will look for you in every lifetime and love you there. And I do hope we both will see the dawn ahead when we'll be free from death and sadness too. So cherish all the words I'll leave. If I have gone to sleep, in them I do express for you a love as deep as ocean's blue and wide as space above. For they will be my hands on you, caresses from the man you knew, forever yours to keep. It was easy to be good and kind in times of plenty. The trying times were the moments that defined a man. And love was something that did much to change a person. It brought joy as it brought suffering, and in turn brought about those moments that defined one's character. Love gave life to the lifeless. It was the greatest of all living powers. But as with all things, love had a dark side to it. It isn't possible to love and part ways. You will wish that it was. You can transmute love, ignore it, muddle it, but you can never pull it out of you. I know by experience that the poets are right. Love is eternal. The heart is an arrow. It demands aim to land true. I can listen no longer in silence. I must speak to you by such means as are within my reach. You pierce my soul. I am half agony, half hope. Tell me not that I am too late, that such precious feelings are gone forever. I offer myself to you again, with a heart even more your own than when you almost broke it. Dare not say that man forgets sooner than woman, that his love has an earlier death. I have loved none but you. Unjust I may have been, weak and resentful I have been, but never inconstant. You alone have brought me to Bath. For you alone, I think and plan. Have you not seen this? Can you fail to have understood my wishes? Can I have your feelings, as I think you must have penetrated mine? You could sink your voice, but I can distinguish the tones of that voice when they would be lost on others. Too good, too excellent, you do us justice indeed. I miss your eyes looking into mine. You look at me in such a way I forget others exist, where my heart melts, in such a way that I hope it never goes away when you come back to me. We will merge with waves of time. I no longer believed in the idea of soulmates or love at first sight, but I was beginning to believe that a very few times in your life, if you were lucky, you might meet someone who was exactly right for you. Not because he was perfect or because you were, but because your combined flaws were arranged in a way that allowed two separate beings to hinge together. I think in the end, you would have stayed with me out of obligation, or maybe comfort. Maybe I was safe to you and you needed to feel that. I know how scared you get of the unknown. To you, I must be kind of a security blanket. But do you see now how that doesn't work for me? I don't want to be there simply because the idea of me being gone is too scary. I want to be someone's everything. I want fire and passion, and love that's returned equally. I want to be someone's heart, even if it means breaking my own. You may not be her first, her last, or her only. She loved before she may love again. But if she loves you now, what else matters? She's not perfect, but you aren't either. And the two of you may never be perfect together. But if she can make you laugh, get you to think twice, and admit to being human and making mistakes, hold on to her and give her the most you can. She may not be thinking about you every second of the day, but she will leave with you a part of her that she knows you can break, her heart. So don't hurt her, don't change her, don't analyze, and don't expect more than she can give. Smile when she makes you happy, let her know when she makes you mad, and miss her when she's not there. Find what you love and let it kill you. Let it drain you of your all. Let it cling onto your back and weigh you down into eventual nothingness. Let it kill you and let it devour your remains. For all things will kill you, both slowly and fastly, but it's much better to be killed by love. Only once in your life, I truly believe, you find someone who can completely turn your world around. You tell them things that you've never shared with another soul, and they absorb everything you say and actually want to hear more. You share hopes for the future, dreams that will never come true, goals that were never achieved, and the many disappointments life has thrown at you. When something wonderful happens, you can't wait to tell them about it, knowing they will share in your excitement. They are not embarrassed to cry with you when you are hurting or laugh with you when you make a fool of yourself. Never do they hurt your feelings or make you feel like you are not good enough, but rather they build you up and show you the things about yourself that make you special and even beautiful. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived, whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden, she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, when envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we, and neither the angels in heaven above, nor the demons down under the sea can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise, but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so, all the night tide, I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea. I knew a girl, and she felt like art, sometimes colourful, sometimes dull, sometimes with bright, hopeful eyes, and sometimes only black and white, but she was always a piece of exquisite art. When she smiles, all are captivated by her radiance, and everyone knows she is the most beautiful girl in the world. At some point, the girl who never thinks she is pretty will believe she is, and she is beautiful. She is a flower growing on the surface of moon. She was a poem on a painting too, unique and mysterious. Her beauty is precious, lovely gift on canvas of moon. She had never really felt truly beautiful before, but tonight she not only understood that she was beautiful, she understood that everyone was. That for all the competition and fear, and knowing that the next runner was coming up behind you, she had been missing out on how beautiful life could be. She should have been watching and appreciating others instead of waiting inside herself for the right time to shine. The time was now. Some say it's painful to wait for someone. Some say it's painful to forget someone. But the worst pain comes from not knowing whether to wait or let go. Days may pass into months, months may pass into years, and years may pass into decades. But there isn't enough time in the world to stop me from waiting for you. What a wonderful sadness to miss the one you have loved forever, it seems, and know that she is waiting at home. Maybe there is no one perfect person, and anyone you end up with will eventually make you think there's someone better out there. To say that one waits a lifetime for his soulmate to come around is a paradox. People eventually get sick of waiting. Take a chance on someone, and by the art of commitment become soulmates, which takes a lifetime to perfect. When you're in love, you're capable of learning everything and knowing things you had never dared even to think. Because love is the key to understanding of all the mysteries. If I could give you one thing in life, I would give you the ability to see yourself through my eyes, because only then you would realize how special you are to me. I had never met a soul who could speak my language until there was you. You are fluent in me. At the end of the day, I wanted it to be you and me. I want your early mornings. I want your late nights. I want you on your good days, even more on your bad. I love you without knowing how or when or from where. I love you simply, without problems or pride. I love you in this way because I do not know any other way of loving but this, in which there is no I or you, so intimate that your hand upon my chest is my hand, so intimate that when I fall asleep, your eyes close. In our time together, you've claimed a special place in my heart, one I'll carry with me forever and that no one can ever replace. To the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you may be the world. To the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you may be the world. I never feel like I'm wasting time with you. We could sit in silence for hours, and it will still feel so full and good and necessary. I am so thankful for you. All the other girls here are stars. You are the northern lights. They try to shine in through your curtains. You're too close and too bright. They try and they try, but everything that they do is the ghost of a trace of a pale imitation of you. I caught myself thinking about falling in love with someone who I hoped was out there right now thinking about the possibility of me. But I quickly banished the notion. It was that kind of thinking that landed me in this situation to begin with. Our secret love, I keep hidden in a private place. But what can we do? Where can we go? This time and place is not for us. Secret, darling, but for a stolen moment out of time, when no one would be hurt, when my lips would burn with you, when you would taste me, finally, when I could be yours and you could be mine. Is it better to speak or to lose oneself in the secrets? They hold so much power in the unknown places. Will death take me without having spoken, or will having spoken bring me to death? If only you knew what I wanted you to know. If I could speak the words, I might be free. If I could speak the words, you might hear what is in my heart. To me, she seemed so beautiful, so seductive, so different from ordinary people, that I could not understand why no one was as disturbed as I by the clicking of her heels on the paving stones, why no one else's heart was wild, with the breeze stirred by the sighs of her veils. I had not missed a single one of her gestures, not one of the indications of her character. But I did not dare approach her for fear of destroying the spell. He would watch her smile, soft and bright, lost in each starry dust in her eyes. But too far, he'd tell himself. Her soul is beyond my reach, unreachable like a distant star, yet close enough to scar. So he hides his heart like a rose under stone, keeps it tucked away into the folds of silence, and whispers love to the wind, hoping it carries what his tongue cannot. She looks at him with eyes so wide, gazing at him as the moon gazes at the earth. Her love, a river, flows beneath her stillness, but fear is the dam that holds it in place. Too distant, she sighs, day by day, watching him slowly drifting away. So she plants her love in his dreams, watering it with tears unseen, hoping it might bloom in another life. But what if he knew and she could see the love they shared secretly? What if the walls they built were nothing but mist, waiting to be dissolved by a single word? For she loved him first, and he loved her too, but neither of them ever knew. his silence is her silence. But what if he knew and she could see the love they shared secretly? What if the walls they built were nothing but mist, waiting to be dissolved by a single word? For she loved him first, and he loved her too, but neither of them ever knew. His silence is her silence. And now they stand, worlds apart, both hiding a love that breaks their heart. Years of love have been forgot in the hatred of a minute. Tell me every terrible thing you ever did, and let me love you anyway. Let me glimpse inside your velvet bones. There are chords in the hearts of the most reckless, which cannot be touched without emotion. The eye, like a shattered mirror, multiplies the images of sorrow. It is a happiness to wonder. It is a happiness to dream. Yes, I now feel that it was then, on that evening of sweet dreams, that the very first dawn of human love burst upon the icy night of my spirit. Since that period, I have never seen nor heard your name without a shiver, half of delight, half of anxiety. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. I will not have you without the darkness that hides within you. And I will not let you have me without the madness that makes me. And if our demons cannot dance, neither can we. I love you, not only for what you are, but for what I am when I am with you. I love you, not only for what you have made of yourself, but for what you are making of me. I love you for the part of me that you bring out, for putting your hand into my heaped up heart, and passing over all the foolish, weak things that you can't help dimly seeing there, and for drawing out into the light all the beautiful belongings that no one else had looked quite far enough to find. I love you without knowing how, or when, or from where. I love you simply, without problems or pride. I love you in this way, because I do not know any other way of loving but this, in which there is no I or you. So intimate that your hand upon my chest is my hand. So intimate that when I fall asleep, your eyes close. How can I keep my soul in me so that it doesn't touch your soul? How can I raise it high enough, past you, to other things? I would like to shelter it among remote, lost objects in some dark and silent place that doesn't resonate when your depths resound. Yet everything that touches us, me and you, takes us together like a violin's bow, which draws one voice out of two separate strings. Upon what instrument are we to span, and what musician holds us in his hand? What I would do to listen to that song, somewhere I have never traveled, gladly beyond any experience. Your eyes have their silence. In your most frail gesture are things which enclose me, or which I cannot touch because they are too near. Your slightest look easily will unclose me, and though I have closed myself as fingers, you open always petal by petal myself, as spring opens her first rose. But if your wish be to close me, I and my life will shut very beautifully, suddenly, as when the heart of this flower imagines the snow carefully everywhere descending. Nothing which we are to perceive in this world equals the power of your intense fragility, whose texture compels me with the color of its countries, rendering death and forever with each breathing. I do not know what it is about you that closes and opens. Only something in me understands. The voice of your eyes is deeper than all roses. The highest form of love is consideration. When someone thinks about how things will make you feel, pays attention to detail, holds you in regard when making decisions that could affect you. In any bond, how much they care about you can be found in how much they consider you. Intensely selfish people are always very decided as to what they wish. They do not waste their energies in considering the good of others. If you want to be selfish, so be it, and be acceptive of it. Don't hide in disguise and pray that no one will notice, because some people do. The problem with people who are self-centered is that they never shift their focus long enough to understand or care about the needs of those around them. At times, we feel outnumbered in our attempts to improve the world, to brighten and beautify, to preserve and heal and do what's best for humanity. Selfless efforts can start to feel beleaguering, discouraging, even pointless, with so little support. It is at these times I remind myself that I would rather be the last good Samaritan standing than to join the ranks of the selfish multitudes creating misery. Because I cannot sleep, I make music at night and paint memories of your face. Your face, which I can't seem to get rid of, has sought permanence in my mind. Your face, which has robbed me of sleep, has been my last prayer. Free me of this love-induced insomnia. My heart and mind are left angry with each other. I suppose this is what it means for love to be impossible, for I can't seem to have one without the other. If anyone asks you how the perfect satisfaction of all our sexual wanting will look, lift your face and say, like this. When someone mentions the gracefulness of the night sky, climb up on the roof and dance and say, like this. If anyone wants to know what spirit is or what God's fragrance means, lean your head toward him or her. Keep your face there close. When someone quotes the old poetic image about clouds gradually uncovering the moon, slowly loosen, knot by knot, the strings of your robe. And when someone asks what it means to die for love, point to me. If I depart in early sleep and cease to be with you, my thoughts I'd leave for you to read, to hold your hands in times of need, to soothe your grieving too. I've written words you have not read that speak of you, my love. In them, I do express for you a love as deep as ocean's blue and wide as space above. We've lived as one for many years, despite some days of pain. But never did we keep a thought from holding back the love we sought, but strove for it to reign. For 41 abiding years, I've prized my time with you, and I do hope we both will see the dawn ahead, when we'll be free from death and sadness too. But if I were to fall asleep before what will be new, remember this: the hope we hold, the one that God will soon unfold, will bring us back anew. So cherish all the words I'll leave if I have gone to sleep, for they will be my hands on you, caresses from the man you knew, forever yours to keep. Do not fall in love with people like me. I will take you to museums and parks and monuments and kiss you in every beautiful place, so that you can never go back to them without tasting me like blood in your mouth. I will destroy you in the most beautiful way possible. And when I leave, you will finally understand why storms are named after people. They say don't fall in love with writers because their poems are messy, and their letters are empty words dressed up to look pretty. But I say, fall in love with me, because underneath the mess and in between the lines is a heart too full of love that would follow you to any city. I should have probably warned you, once you end an affair with an artist, you are perpetually reminded of them. They've now ruined classical music and art for you. They've ruined books and poetry. You should just forget about galleries and museums. But you know what the worst part is? It's how they witnessed and observed you, making you feel like the only person in the room. and you secretly loved being looked at, being worshipped. So now you avoid mirrors, because when you look at yourself, you remember me. I think you still love me, but we can't escape the fact that I'm not enough for you. I knew this was going to happen, so I'm not blaming you for falling in love with another man. I'm not angry either. I should be, but I'm not. I thought I could imagine how much this would hurt, but I was wrong. Isn't it funny how the memories you cherish before a breakup can become your worst enemies afterwards? Because if you could love someone and keep loving them without being loved back, then that love had to be real, because it hurt too much to be anything else. She was a poem on a painting too. Everything she said sounded like a song. Every silence was music too. Keep ignoring me. You amuse me. I have become your sunshine and also your shadow. She was beautiful for the sparkle in her eyes when she talked about something she loved. I loved you so truly and so tenderly, may God grant you. And if my arms trembles, it is because it has never been held by hands such as yours. You have no idea how hard I've looked for a gift to bring you. It's no good giving my heart and my soul because you already have these. I'm ashamed to call this love human and afraid of God to call it divine. How do I love you? Let me count the ways. I love you to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach. I love you in all dimensions, when feeling out of sight for the ends of being an ideal grace. I love you to the level of every day's most quiet need, by sun and candlelight. I love you freely, as men strive for right. I love you purely, as they turn from praise. I love you with the passion put to use, in my old griefs and with my childhood's faith. I love you with a love I seem to lose. I love you with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life. And if God choose, I shall but love you better after death. I once had 1,000 desires, but in my one desire to know you, all else melted away. The pure essence of your being has taken over my heart and soul. Now there is no second or third, only the sound of your sweet cry. Through your grace, I have found a treasure within myself. I have found the truth of the unseen world. I have come upon the eternal ecstasy. I have gone beyond the ravages of time. I have become one with you. Now my heart sings. I am the soul of the world. I came with many knots in my heart, like the magician's rope, and you undid them all at once. Do not fall in love with people like me. I will take you to museums and parks and monuments and kiss you in every beautiful place so that you can never go back to them without tasting me like blood in your mouth. I will destroy you in the most beautiful way possible. And when I leave, you will finally understand why storms are named after people. My love, you are closer to me than myself. You shine through my eyes. Your light is brighter than the moon. Step into the garden so all the flowers, even the tall poplar, can kneel before your beauty. Let your voice silence the lily, famous for its 100 tongues. When you want to be kind, you are softer than the soul. But when you withdraw, you can be so cold and harsh. My dear, you can be wild and rebellious, but when you meet him face to face, his charm will make you calm like the earth. Throw away your shield and bare your chest. There is no stronger protection than him. That's why when the lover withdraws from the world, he covers all the cracks in the wall, so the outside light cannot come through. He knows that only you can illuminate his world. I didn't love you because I was lonely. Far from it. I was at peace in my own world, wrapped in the comfort of solitude. But then you appeared, like a comet streaking across my night sky. Your presence was more than just a spark. It was a blaze that lit up my entire existence. You made me open my eyes again to see the world in vivid color, to feel life pulsing around me. With you every day is a revelation, a journey into a world I never knew existed. Losing you would be unimaginable, like being plunged back into darkness. It would leave a void so profound, I doubt I could ever find my way back. Before you, my life felt like a distant memory, a chapter from another book. Nothing else matters as long as I'm with you. When I bonded with you for the first time, it was the only time I ever wanted to make someone permanent in my life. Every moment since has only strengthened that desire, solidifying my commitment to us. I am a dreamer. I know so little of real life that I just can't help reliving such moments as these in my dreams. For such moments are something I have very rarely experienced. I'm going to dream about you the whole night, the whole week, the whole year. I feel I know you so well that I couldn't have known you better if we'd been friends for 20 years. You won't fail me, will you? Only 2 minutes and you've made me happy forever. Who knows, perhaps you've reconciled me with myself, resolved all my doubts. If and when you fall in love, may you be happy with him. I don't need to wish her anything, for she'll be happy with you. May your sky always be clear. May your dear smile always be bright and happy. And may you be forever blessed, for she is with you, for that moment of bliss and happiness which she gave to another lonely and grateful heart. Isn't such a moment sufficient for the whole of one's life? I've come to take you with me, even if I must drag you along. But first I must steal your heart, then settle you in my soul. I've come as a spring to lay beside your blossoms, to feel the glory of happiness and spread your flowers around. I've come to show you off as the adornment in my house and elevate you to the heavens as the prayers of those in love. I've come to take back the kiss you once stole. Either return it with grace or I must take it by force. You're my life, you're my soul. Please be my last prayer. My heart must hold you forever. From the lowly earth to the high human soul, there are a lot more than 1,000 stages. Since I've taken you along from town to town, no way will I abandon you halfway down this road. Though you're in my hands, though I can throw you around like a child in a ball, I'll always need to chase after you. You know what the truest love is? The love that comes with no sign. The kind of love that pops up into your life when you aren't looking for it. The kind that comes out of nowhere and you feel your entire world turn. True love comes completely, without warning, without any chance to think about it or process it. Almost like how a storm rolls in from a clear sky. The sudden downpour drowning you in emotions you didn't know existed. It's the love that bursts in, like a flower growing through concrete. Because love doesn't care who you are or what's around it. It's fierce and fervent, and it shatters the walls you built around yourself. And then you realize that everything you thought about love was wrong. You realize that love is as simple as the undeniable emotional pull that draws you to one another endlessly. Until I run out of breath, there's a piece of you in every thought I have, only heaven that I've known. Without you here, my heart cut in half, king without his queen beside your empty throne. In the bed, we'd lie where I'd stay up every night, cold without your warm embraces. Life now just does not feel right, missing the most beautiful of faces. I miss it all. I miss your voice, your smell and your smile. I'd give up right now if I had the choice. My tears could fill the river Nile, but I'll love you still perpetual until I run out of breath. My heart will not release from you until my time for death. Know that when I feel death's cold fingers, I'll think of your warm embrace. Tell me how to spend my life now without my favorite face. From the days in summer sun when we'd voyage here and there, or the coldest winter nights movie on, but at you I'd stare. How to live now without that smile and the most beautiful of eyes. Tell me, did you really love me once, or was it all just lies? She guessed my favorite color first try, but between me and you, I didn't even have a favorite color until she said yellow. She was excited and smiling like a little kid, so I told her she was right, and I haven't seen yellow the same since. It's in everything. I could probably live in it now. She is the most beautiful pattern of beauty on the fabric of life. She was a poem on a painting too. Everything she said sounded like a song. Every silence was music too. She's an old soul with young eyes, a vintage heart, and a beautiful mind. She was beautiful, but not like those girls in magazines. She was beautiful for the way she thought. She was beautiful for the sparkle in her eyes when she talked about something she loved. She was beautiful for her ability to make other people smile, even if she was sad. No, she wasn't beautiful for something as temporary as her looks. She was beautiful, deep down to her soul. I do not wish to cause you any pain. I loved you, and the hopelessness I knew. The thought of losing you has broken my heart 1,000 times. The jealousy, the shyness, made up a love so tender and so true. I hope may God grant you to be loved again, but let my love no longer trouble you. Those mornings when we kiss and surrender for an hour before we say a single word, it's like time stops, and in that moment, I live countless lives, and none without you in it. The planets and stars rejoice at the sound of your voice again, and at once the world moves again, only to revolve around you. I loved you, and it may be that my love within my soul has not altogether died away. When you feel connected to everything, you also feel responsible for everything. Because of you, I know I am too fragile to bear it. Such is the strangeness of the human heart. And though you really did hurt me, in the end, I was better for it. I want you to know how sorry I am for pushing you away when I had only meant to bring you closer. And if I ever felt like home to you, it was because you were safe with me. I want you to know that most of all. My heart has burned with passion and has searched forever for this wondrous beauty that I now behold. You have breathed new life into me. I am bewildered by the magnificence of your beauty and wish to see you with 100 eyes. Just let me look at you and love you. I am present only for you. I've forgotten all my learnings. I've lost all my strength, but from your power, I am able. One day, you'll finally meet someone who isn't afraid to give love another chance. I create entire romances in my dreams. I'm ashamed to call this love human. Love is a feeling that cannot be explained, only felt. I have so much to say to you that I'm afraid I shall tell you nothing. And if ever I speak of you, I use the English language to describe who you were to me. Your name, which I played with so carelessly, so easily, has somehow become sacred to my lips. Every fiber of my being is in love with you. My soul is screaming in ecstasy, and those who laughed and scorned me yesterday are sorry that they were not looking as I did. No more words. Stay quiet like a flower. Hide in my heart like a secret. Just let me look at you and love you. Tell me how I could have ever not loved you. My love, you are driving the entire world mad. The nightingales are committing suicide one by one out of jealousy of your voice. The roses took one glance at your beauty and folded themselves from shame. The trees now only whisper your name, and the sky hasn't stopped crying since you looked up. Have pity on us, my love. We have already broken all the mirrors and glass, out of fear that you will forget us. and fall in love with yourself once you see what we all cannot stop seeing. The power you hold over me invokes jealousy in God Himself. So tell me then, how this love could be extinguished. Tell me how I am to live with such a treasure as the thoughts I have of you. How could I ever forget you, my love, when I could never close my eyes and see anything but you? Tell me how I could ever quench my thirst for you, when the portrait of your existence persists in my soul. How could I ever leave you, my love, when the idea of a world without you slaughters my heart, when your presence quiets the roars of my chaotic thoughts? Tell me how I could have ever not loved you. I'm ashamed to call this love human, and afraid of God to call it divine. Your fragrant breath, like the morning breeze, has come to the stillness of the garden. You have breathed new life into me. I have become your sunshine, and also your shadow. My soul is screaming in ecstasy. Every fiber of my being is in love with you. I am in the house of mercy, and my heart is a place of prayer. From the beginning of my life, I have been looking for your face, but today I have seen it. Today I have seen the charm, the beauty, the unfathomable grace of the face that I was looking for. Today I have found you, and those who laughed and scorned me yesterday are sorry that they were not looking as I did. I am bewildered by the magnificence of your beauty and wish to see you with 100 eyes. My heart has burned with passion and has searched forever for this wondrous beauty that I now behold. I loved you, and it may be that my love within my soul has not altogether died away. Howbeit, it will not trouble you anymore. I do not wish to sadden you in any way. I loved you in silence and without hope. Worn out now with jealousy and now with shamefacedness, I loved you so truly, and so tenderly may God grant you may be loved by some other. I don't know how to be silent when my heart is speaking. I have so much to say to you that I'm afraid I shall tell you nothing. We sometimes encounter people, even perfect strangers, who begin to interest us at first sight. Somehow, suddenly, all at once, before a word has been spoken, they were renewed by love. The heart of each held infinite sources of life for the heart of the other. And if there's love, you can do without happiness too. Even with sorrow, life is sweet. And what shall I have to dream of when I've been so happy in reality beside you? I create entire romances in my dreams, and I do nothing but dream every day that at last I shall meet someone. And if my arms trembles, it is because it has never been held by hands such as yours. It's you I love. I spent much of my life guarding my heart. I guarded it so well that I could behave as though I didn't have one at all. Even now, it is a shabby, worm-eaten, and scabrous thing, but it is yours. A lover asked his beloved, "Do you love yourself more than you love me?" Beloved replied, "I have died to myself, and I live for you. I've disappeared from myself and my attributes. I am present only for you. I've forgotten all my learnings, but from knowing you, I've become a scholar. I've lost all my strength, but from your power, I am able. I remember when your name was just another name that rolled without thought off my tongue. Now I can't look at your name without an abundance of sentiment attached to each letter. Your name, which I played with so carelessly, so easily, has somehow become sacred to my lips. A name I won't throw around so light-heartedly, or repeat without deep thought. And if ever I speak of you, I use the English language to describe who you were to me. You are nameless, because those letters grouped together in that familiar form carries too much meaning for my capricious heart. My love, you can dance inside my chest where no one would see you. Hide in my heart like a secret. I don't want learning or dignity or respectability. I want this night and this music and the warmth of your cheek against mine. Let me hold you in my dreams, for in my dreams you have no end. My dear, do not leave me. Hide in my heart like a secret. Wind around my head like a turban. You can tease me as much as you like, but never leave me. For without you, I swear, the world has become like a prison to me. To live without you is death to me, my love. You have no idea how hard I've looked for a gift to bring you. Nothing seemed right. What's the point of bringing gold to the gold mine, or water to the ocean? Everything I came up with was like taking spices to the Orient. It's no good giving my heart and my soul because you already have these. So I've brought you a mirror. Look at yourself and remember me. We know each other without knowing each other. I know your name and you know mine. We recognize each other in the corridors and we know it. There is something between us. A bond, a special bond that no one knows. Keep ignoring me. You amuse me. If you only knew how much I know about you and how much I know everything. You really think I love you? Well, you're right. Get inside my head, you'll see you're everywhere. Even as I write this quote, fortunately, you'll never know any of this. I'm the one with all the keys in my hand. You'll have to beg me to give you one. It makes me wonder, do we spend most of our days trying to remember or forget things? The minute I heard my first love story, I started looking for you, not knowing how blind that was. Lovers don't finally meet somewhere. They're in each other all along. I've lived to bury my desires and see my dreams corrode with rust. Now all that's left are fruitless fires that burn my empty heart to dust. Struck by the clouds of cruel fate, my crown of summer bloom is sere. Alone and sad, I watch and wait and wonder if the end is near. As conquered by the last cold air when winter whistles in the wind, alone upon a branch that's bare, a trembling leaf is left behind. I loved you, and it may be from my soul. The former love has never gone away. I have loved you with a love that is true, a love that is deep and pure. I remember a wonderful moment. You appeared before me like a fleeting vision, like a spirit of pure beauty. The memory of happiness no longer makes me happy. In my heart's sanctuary, you still reign supreme. You will burst my heart in two, yet I will love you still. But I've been turned to stone by sorrow. I keep my silence. I hide my love. To live with you, to look at you, to walk with you through life. I loved you without hope, without a thought of pride. I loved you with a tenderness, a jealousy, a fear. Love is a feeling that cannot be explained, only felt. Some say it's painful to wait for someone, but the worst pain comes from not knowing whether to wait or let go. Days may pass into months, and months may pass into years, but there isn't enough time in the world to stop me from waiting for you. It's you I love. So tell me then, how this love could be extinguished, when the portrait of your existence persists in my soul, when I could never close my eyes and see anything but you. How could I ever forget you, my love? To me, she seemed so beautiful, so seductive, so different from ordinary people, that I could not understand why no one was as disturbed as I by the clicking of her heels on the paving stones, why no one else's heart was wild, with the breeze stirred by the sighs of her veils. I had not missed a single one of her gestures, not one of the indications of her character. But I did not dare approach her for fear of destroying the spell. I choose to love you in silence, for in silence I find no rejection. I choose to love you in loneliness, for in loneliness no one owns you but me. I adore you from a distance, for distance will shield me from pain. I chose to kiss you in the wind, for the wind is gentler than my lips. Let me hold you in my dreams, for in my dreams you have no end. In the shadows of night, my heart does confide. Tell me, how to prove my love's guide. In this world of doubts, how do I find my way? Show me a path where my love can truly sway. The stars above witness my love's pure decree, but how do I prove it? How could I explain why it is that way? I cannot even explain it to myself. Oh, guide me in this love's lonely chase. How do I prove my love in this endless race? My heart's true desire, a love that won't cease. But how do I prove it and find my heart's peace? So tell me, dear soul, the way to love's release. How do I prove my love and let my heart find peace? There it was, in the mirror, her reflection that did not appear newer, because it was from the past, on the mirror of present so well and eloquently cast. I walked forward to take a closer look, as I allowed myself to get caught in this hook. And when I looked at the mirror's surface, there appeared her beautiful face. The mirror had turned into a visual spectacle like none other, bearing all her past reflections intact and beautifully together. I gazed at it, and then at her too, and the mirror reflected just her form. There was neither I nor any of you, because it reflected what I had felt or known already, and it reflected these experiences in forms wonderfully steady,